Hello and welcome to the show. We are back at the Bajarama circuit with 3 more vehicles to be driven till destruction, starting with something that looks like it would be rather well suited out here. This is perhaps one of the most requested vehicles of late, the Hell Jeep. It's a rock crawler. As you can see, we have got lots and lots of suspension movement. It looks like we've got some massively tough tyres, and, well, ground clearance isn't going to be a problem. We're not going to have problems with smacking the bodywork on the floor, because it's always going to be hitting those wheels first. However, while yes, it is designed for rock crawling, it's designed for that sort of off-roading, that is a very different sort of test, if you like, for the vehicle than we are going to have around here. What I fear is with such massively exposed wheels and such a huge amount of movement in the suspension, it's going to go over a jump, and all we have to do is land a little bit awkward, and I think we might snap wheels off. I think that could be a potential problem for the Hell Jeep. If that doesn't happen, if it survives a lot of punishment, then this will take some killing, and I don't quite know what would be the thing to bring it down. Oh, there we go. We've survived the initial impact. I think the trick with this will be we've got to land it completely straight across these jumps. If we land it a little bit twisted, all manner of hell is going to break loose, because I'm not sure the suspension is designed to deal with that. Because let's face it, rock crawling, you don't have to worry about your vehicle getting airtime. You're going very slowly over ridiculous terrain. And this is, yeah, a very, very different sort of a thing. Oh, there's a little bit of a shake and a wobble, and a come back down, all in just about in control. If this thing starts rolling, I think we'll be in trouble as well. Even if we do get away with an initial impact, I would worry. Oh, no! That's not good. That's not good at all. We have lost the front. The front left is gone, and it's not even gone cleanly. It's not even snapped off in a nice, clean manner. Oh, come on, Hell Jeep. It might just about be... Okay, we might just about be drivable. Oh, up towards Radiator Springs we go. Good... No, bad news. Bad news. Bad news. I can't get it back on course. No, Hell Jeep, bad. Where are you going? Look at the... I think we want to go in here. Oh no. That's the Hell Jeep done for. Didn't really make it very far. That was not even a particularly bad landing. It's just the front suspension is very good at dealing with what it's supposed to deal with, but where you have to ask it to deal with other forces in slightly different directions and with such big wheels to get caught, it's just snapped it clean off. It's just, yeah, and then the bigger issue is when it does snap it off, we could deal with it if it was a normal car, having lost a wheel like that, but the way that the wheels go on this, it's still getting some drive to it, and it's pulling the car about, and then there really is very little in the way of arguments you can do with it. It's not last. It has got further than the K-Series did and the Cement Mixer, but... yeah, the rock crawler not designed for this kind of off-roading, and it tells. You can tell it with the suspension there, as the steering was a goner. An interesting parking though. I will give it bonus points for spectacularness in parking. Up next, we have got the Malok. Now, you might know this is the Fiat 126. That's the vehicle. I think it's the 126 anyway. This is based on a tiny little Fiat. You might also recognize it from Car Mechanic Simulator. Yep, it is that style of a vehicle that is going to take on this course. It is not very quick. Not very quick at all. However, the engine is in the back, and I believe it is air-cooled in this, so we're not going to have the problem of the radiator dying, which is it's nice not to have to worry about the radiator going in this vehicle. I believe that is the case anyway with this car. There are much bigger concerns, though, I'll be honest, as well. The wheels already do not look particularly strong at the back there. They're kind of folding over as we go around the corners, and I'm not sure that is particularly good in terms of grip. I feel like one heavy land, much like we had with the Hell Jeep, I feel like one heavy landing in this and we might snap something off. There may be a little bit more compliance in this car than there was in the Hell Jeep in some ways. Whoa! That's a new place to roll. That is a new place to roll indeed. Amusingly, the only damage done in that is we lost a wing mirror. That's just fantastic. That is just amazing, amazing. The lack of grip, and then the door's starting to flap around. We're not going to clear Radiator Springs. We are going to go face first into Radiator Springs. The good news... Oh, I don't know what on earth was breaking there. The good news is that it doesn't really matter if we go into Radiator Springs face first. And there's not much damage at the front there. There goes the roof rack. Didn't last particularly long. In fact, we pushed like the entire front subframe underneath the car almost from that crash. It's a hard hit there. Not quite as bad as the Ghastly. The Ghastly hit with, well, a lot more weight and a bit more speed behind it, but so much more momentum went into that crash. The advantage with the Malok, of course, is that when it does hit something, there's not much weight behind it. So it has got that going for it. Oh, don't do a backflip, car. I mean, this is some interestingness going on. The front bumper, actually, that's gone straight. I don't even know what it is. We have very much bent the chassis, and we have got some steering issues. Kind of as you can imagine, the front left is none too happy with all of this. Oh, big wheelies going on. It loves the wheelies. Now, one of the another big plus point with this vehicle, it is rear-wheel drive because the engine is in the back. And I am hoping that it might mean... Oh, that's going to get a big bit of a twist. Yeah, kind of drive shaft isn't going to get broken because, well, I say drive shaft isn't going to get broken. It's not going to get broken from the car hitting the middle of the chassis on the landing of a jump because it's not there. It's just not positioned there. So we have got the advantage of not having to worry about the drive shaft. Of course, the big concern is, as ever, really the front wheels, the front wheel axles. Snapping off a front wheel would probably be survivable in this. We might be able to steer it with just one front wheel, but we are going to take a lot of punishment at the front. I'm loving the wheelies, by the way. This might be one of my new favourite vehicles in the way that this is wheeling its way around the course. It is certainly a spectacle. I mean, we've had all sorts of vehicles behave oddly on this series, as you might expect, really, with the punishment that they are going through. But the wheeling Malok might be my favourite. Ouch, that's a big crunch again on the front. The rear wheels are actually holding up very, very well in all of this. They're folding around terribly. Like, I feel like I'm going to lean on it and it's just going to snap at some point. But they are just about doing their job. They're terrible tyres as well. I mean, it's basically bicycle wheels on this. However, we've made a lap. We have made a lap and we are still going. I do think the rear suspension is getting worse. There's definitely getting wobblier back there. It wasn't great to begin with, but as it's taking more and more damage, it's just getting worse and worse. We're not quite going to get a flappy wheel situation like we had with the Bajarama. I mean, we couldn't because we're rear-wheel drive here. Oh, we're going to go for another tumble, though. Forgot about that. It does roll over pretty spectacularly when it goes. It goes in big style. We might actually have issues, possibly even with the chassis beaching itself at the rate we're going. It's very buckled in the middle, which is not good for anything really. There we go. We're on the ground. We've still... Yeah, I mean, the chassis is kind of bent. It's around that sort of front left. That's where we hit Radiator Springs very, very hard. Now, if we can hit on the front right this time around, kind of even it out, that might work out quite nicely. Very, very difficult to aim the damage. And we're going to come to a rest upside down. Come on. Whoa! Bloody hell. It's fine. Was not expecting that. That's a unintended outcome from the rescue job there. Okay, we've got to be careful. Ooh, okay, so big issues now are starting to go on with the drive. We have got we've got the front left is buckled, and now the rear right is at a slightly wonky angle from all of that. I'm not sure if that was from me picking up or whether it was just from the roll. I think it was just from the roll, because me picking up didn't really do a huge amount. It actually kind of landed quite nicely. That wheel should not be hanging on to life there. That wheel is going to snap at some point. Oh, we're going to crash and twist and twist and boing. We're going to boing our way back over again. Now, we've got to be very, very careful here. Do I have this on silly? No, I don't have it on 30% strength. It's just the car is so light. There we go. Gently does it. I'm so used to picking up the big heavyweight monsters that we've had, or some of the heavyweight vehicles that we've had around here. Little Fiat got a little carried away with. Right, toward Radiator Springs we go. Uh-oh. there is no real avoiding that one. We have landed on the other side at least, which is something. I don't know whether you can break the engine. Oh dear, it's a little bit too much that way. Go on. I don't know whether if somehow we managed to get to a point where we smacked the rear of the car on the ground, or whether that could break the engine. I would imagine technically possible, but very unlikely because we're going so slow across the jumps with this. We're always hitting the front on the floor. Damage-wise at the front is actually holding up relatively well at the moment. I'm surprised that these wheels are hanging together. Probably won't be for a huge amount longer. These backflips and wheelies are really something. It might be going for stunt of the series. I still think the Flappy Wheels car wins for most spectacular run, but wheeling and trying to do backflips is certainly something that we haven't come across before. Trying to fold the wheel underneath the car is not particularly helpful. Oh, I'm amazed it's holding on for this long, though. I feel like that wheel is going to come off at some point. Come on, come on. There we go for rolls as well. It's going to try and fit all of the criteria of spectacular. The Pigeon, that rolled quite a lot. Rolled quite well, also, on its run through the course. I'm now beginning to worry about, is there anything that can stop the Malok? Can it... Oh, God. It just falls over so easily. It might be a kind of a case in some ways that this is not really going fast enough to do any serious damage to itself. It's provided it can get across radiator springs. That's where the worst of the kind of likely damage is going to happen. If it can survive radiator springs, the rest of the time we're going so slowly. We're only doing like 30-mile-an-hour rolls, and the car is just about tough enough to survive that. Oh God, wheels. The back wheels are getting worse, I think, as we are crashing around here. Oh, we lost a bumper. And nope, we're not going to come to a rest easily there, are we? No, we're going to have to go for a grab the car, put it back down again. Chassis is getting a little bit low as well in places, which is not great, but yeah, kind of one of those things that's going to happen as we smack the front of the car up more and more around the course. I won't be faster or not be faster, that's fine. We're kind of getting away with a lot of these crashes in that as we're landing them, we're twisting, and we've got some front bumper caught up in there. Can I get... Okay, I might not be able to get front bumper out without pulling the car apart. I've got to be very careful when it comes to some of these bits. If that is wedged in there, I'm going to do more damage, I think, trying to free it. That's going to have to stay. I can't get it out without tearing stuff apart. And if you're sure, you can go, maximum strength with the node grabber and just pull it clear, but you will rip everything else apart. So we're going to have to deal with that in there, basically. At the moment, it will probably work its way free as we tumble our way around. I think we might start having steering issues. Possibly. Anytime now, the little car is going to get... Anytime now, it's just going to give up. It has been abused quite a lot. It spent a lot of time upside down. Oops, that was from the door, not from the sill, but never mind. It's back on its wheels once more. I mean, it's kept its shape quite well from all of these crashes. I'm not quite sure what the thing at the back is. That a tow hook that's come up at the back? That I don't seem to remember was being there. Or was that part of the chassis before? Is that... I don't know where that's come from. Maybe it was what kind of the rear bumper was attached to. We've got big steering issues right now. I'm amazed the diff is actually not having worse time with this. I guess the wheels are slightly bendy. Oh no! Oh good God! We've got big two-wheeled moments. This is a silly, silly car. I quite like it. I quite like the way that it is holding on. I mean, it's on its third lap. Oh, look at that. Look at that for a recovery. I mean, could this really make 4 laps? Could this terrible little car... I say terrible little car. That would be a little bit unfair to it. Slow. Slow, it is definitely slow. Make it onto its 4th lap, or will we have something give? Will we have a catastrophic failure in our Malok? I feel like one of the wheels has got to give way soon. I feel like it can't take much more in the way of hits before something in the wheels is going to give up the ghost. It does help that there is so much less weight in this, kind of making the impacts worse, because yeah, it is a very, very, very light vehicle, and we're just not doing the same amount of damage when we do hit the landing of a jump. Come on now, we can make it across there. We can just about bounce our way down here. We've actually got a decent enough landing. Well, I say that, we're bouncing around like a maniac. This is the big test. This is the big test. We've got, I guess we've got more and more damage, but it's not actually affecting us because we were never ever going to be quick enough to get across Radiator Springs in one go. So what that means is that now we're just going slower across Radiator Springs. So as we've got more and more damage, we're actually doing less damage as we go to cross Radiator Springs. Having said that, it's still going to be a big hit into the ground. Oh, things didn't go crunch as I was expecting them to, but things have got very, very bent. Oh, we've got a wheel inside out at the back. This might not get out of Radiator Springs. I don't even know if we can put any power down. Or, I don't think we can. Come on, car. Oh, it's not going to do it, I don't think. We have actually now got some... Oh. So, I guess the way this mod is made, the wheel axles actually got twisted before it snapped off. So I've got one wheel wanting to reverse and one wheel wanting to go forwards. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere because it's just constantly now fighting against itself. That is spectacular failure. That is really something. Radiator Springs has done an odd number. I thought we were going to lose a front wheel. I mean, you can see how bent up the chassis is going on at the front. But an inside-out wheel is a first, I think. We have had the Covet, the 94 Covet, the Rally Covet that made it onto that 4, had one of the front wheels get turned inside out. But, yeah, when it's a drive wheel, that's trouble. That's serious trouble. Well, that's it. That's it for the Malok. It did very well to make it on to its third lap. Death by Radiator Springs in perhaps one of, maybe not quite as spectacular again as the Flappy Wheels Perceiver, but certainly one hell of a spectacular run for this little car. And finally, to finish off today, I'm not sure if this Volkswagen is going to be able to quite impress as much as the Malok, but it is going to have a go. This is the Volkswagen Fox, I imagine an old version. I think this might actually be a South American version. I think it's also become the Volkswagen Gol or something along the lines. Either way, it's an interesting car to have here that we are going to go and... take around our Bajarama course. Now, it is a little bit quicker than the Malok. It's still not amazingly fast, this thing. I'm hoping we might be able to survive Radiator Springs. It would be nice to be able to have a car today that can get across Radiator Springs without a crash. Is this the first episode that we've had none of them make it? Did any of the Derby cars? Maybe the Derby cars didn't. Last time out, I'm trying to wrap my brains around. It's normally on the first pass that they get is going to be their best chance. It's going to be their best shot at getting through because they are relatively undamaged. These early stages aren't too punishing to the cars, provided they've got enough speed to get up these hills, which this is struggling with. Okay, that's a little bit of a concern. Small bit of a concern going on in this. If we get struggling to get up these hills, yeah, I think we're going to smack our face on Radiator Springs, aren't we? Well, oh god, the rear bumper's starting to come a little bit loose. Yeah, there's not much in the way of performance. Not quite the performance that I was hoping from in this. There we go. We've got to work with it, or just very, very slowly. Ow, that's a lot of the back of the car. Quite unhappy. Oh dear, here we go. Radiator Springs. It is at least a little bit downhill towards Radiator Springs. We're not going to make it. Oh, we did. Oh, we made it across Radiator Springs in relatively good condition. It hit the front. It kind of hits. Oh, the front is looking delightfully broken in there. Yeah, we kind of hit the underside at the front, but amazingly didn't do radiator damage, didn't do engine damage or drive shaft failure or any of that, although that might do radiator damage. That's a car upside down. God damn it. There we go. We're over. We've lost the front bumper completely. I don't quite know where it was before. Are we going to get... There we go. We are going to get going again. That really laboured to get itself going. We've got some debris. I think that's the sort of the little lip that was around the front is now hanging out to the side. This is also another very punishing section for vehicles. It is just relentless crashing down on the front of the car. I suspect if we hadn't killed the radiator when we rolled, I think we probably would have done down here. Although this is actually doing a pretty good job at landing relatively neatly across the motocross section. Can't complain too much at that, but it's just the lack of any real speed. We can't even get across the first part of that. They're not even really going to make that, are we? No. This is really labouring around this course. We're just going to, yeah, again, crash down on the front. The sort of front part of the chassis is doing a hell of a job at staying strong. We've not bent up the wheels too much at all. Surprisingly, the wheels are still, well, fully functioning. As I say that, we've got issues. What's gone on? Is that might just be the debris. I thought, as I said that, I just went around the corner and the car just gave up. There we go. We got that free. We are a little... There we go. Right, that's off. I just didn't stop steering to the left. I think it was just that it was got caught up in there. We've got rid of it now. That meant, thankfully, we could pull free. So that's all right. Oh, that's not going to be so all right across there. Either way, while, yes, we have issues with our radiator, we are going to make it on to a second lap with the Volkswagen. That is, you know, not too bad. Some of these sort of small compact cars, in fact, a lot of the small compact cars have struggled massively around here. So to get onto a second lap is pretty damn good going. And to get onto a second lap with relatively, you know, functioning wheels at the front. We've got good steering. We're just struggling with power, and I think we're going to overheat the engine again. Much like I said this before with some of the low-powered cars. I've got to work this engine so hard to get any speed out of this, and I need some speed just to get across these jumps, and that's not going to help with the overheating. Oh, that might have snapped the... Oh, no, okay. That's odd. I thought we'd snap the front left because it was pulling massively to the side when I'd let go of the steering, but it then kind of came back into line once we'd landed. It's not pretty at the front particularly anymore on this car. I mean, the back of the vehicle's actually survived relatively well. We had a roll, but it was all damage done to the front. Just the rear bumper is slightly come undone at one corner. Okay, temperature gradually creeping up. I don't know how long it's going to take with this vehicle to overheat. Oh, that's a trouble. That was a painful looking front left again. I think the front left has bore the brunt of the issues. I think that might be... Oh, is it? No, it's got back into line again. I wonder if with some of these crashes, it's kind of pinging the wheel out, and then when we get back to controlling the steering, it puts it back into line somehow. Maybe. Oh, okay, no, we're fine. We're fine. I don't know what's going on with that front left. It's troubling. I do feel like that's going to snap off at any point, although it has probably got away with a bit more than it maybe should have done. Oh God, I'm just looking at the position of the wheel in relation to the chassis and the bodywork. It's been shunted a fair way back. So even if this doesn't overheat, I suspect the chassis is actually going to end up having us beached relatively soon. Anyway, we're going to go for a roll. Well, are we going to be good to get out of there? Come on, car. That's the ticket. We're going to just about work our way free. Yeah, the coolant is overheating. Oh, the handling's got better after that crash. We actually got some turn into that corner. I think it's probably because one of the rear wheels is bent over at a silly angle, but we actually got the front. Sometimes, as weird as it is, yeah, crashing these cars does improve their handling in odd ways. Probably wouldn't be faster around a track, a normal tarmac circuit, but around here, sometimes the crash damage can help. It's probably not going to help for much longer. The oil is overheating, the coolant is overheating. We are not having to steer our way around this corner. That's how broken the steering is now. This is not going to be too good for the Volkswagen. And we're going to go for another... Oh no, we're just going to go for a relatively tame roll. Can we... Oopsie, don't want to grab that. Can we flip it over? Come on, get up. The issue now, I fear, is if we stall the car, it's kind of getting to the stage where it might not turn on. I don't think we've overheated stuff, but we haven't actually caused any big internal damage yet. But it's probably not going to be too long. Oh, we're really struggling for any speed here. We go for just another nap, a small lie down. There we go. We've lost that rear bumper finally. Oh, it's a sad looking Volkswagen. It's a really, really sad looking Volkswagen at the front there. Come on, though. You can make it onto your third lap. We can do it, possibly, around here. The piston rings are a goner. It's not going to survive much longer. Oh, the chassis is now so buckled it's almost constantly scraping on the floor. The conrod bearings are gone. It's making a horrible noise. Come on. No! No! I shouldn't have changed down a gear. I should have left it in second. I don't know whether that actually had any effect on the engine cutting out or not. It has let go. Bugger. That's never going to fire again. It was so close to crawling on to its third lap, but it couldn't quite do it. Then the headlight's fallen off. Just for good measure. Just for good measure there. Oh, bugger. That's a shame. Couldn't quite make it onto its third lap. Took a hell of a beating. Took a hell of a beating. In fact, the head gasket didn't actually go in this one. The head gasket never went. Just the piston rings and the conrod bearings were destroyed. The chassis was going, and that was going to cause some big problems very soon anyway. And you can see how low the front of the car is to the ground. That was starting to scrape, and I suspect not long for this world, regardless of the overheating. But almost so close to making it on to that third lap, but the Volkswagen Fox could not quite do it. It would have to settle for surviving just the two. On to our leaderboard, and the Malok's performance would be rather impressive, putting it up into 12th place. That is certainly not a bad showing. Beats the 200BX drift car, the I-Series race car, the flappy wheels, Pazima, and so on. It's a little bit fractionally down on the Regency. The Regency died on Radiator Springs, but it did actually manage to roll a little bit further. It was, yeah, an interesting and a very, very different failure. One we're probably never going to see again on this course. We have to go a little bit further down to find the Volkswagen Fox in 23rd place. It is the vehicle to make it furthest on its second lap, beating out the Burnside Hot Rod, the H15 van, the off-road Moonhawk. Couldn't quite claw its way around to that third lap with the likes of the Square Grand Marshal, the Diesel, Pazima, and so on. A fairly solid vehicle. Wheels survived remarkably well from a number of very, very heavy hits. We do have to go a fair way down the table, right towards the bottom, but it isn't at the very bottom for that Hell Jeep. It does beat the K-Series and the Cement Mixer. Amusingly, it doesn't go further than a Formula 1 car. Yeah, the wheels are just too fragile on the Hell Jeep. They're just too easy to snap off. All it takes is a fractionally wonky landing on a jump somewhere, and that's a wheel gone, and yeah, it just pulls the car about, and it's basically undrivable. So not a great showing from the Hell Jeep there. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods I've used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.